I really avoid just trying to, as best I can, and I'm sure I've done it, just sort of categorically dismiss things as little as possible. But very few people who have thought long and hard about evil would simply dismiss it as ignorance. Now, it might be counterproductive that I treat my wife in the passive-aggressive way that I do when I get home because she said or did something that annoys me. But it's not ignorance. I know what I'm doing. And I would imagine that Joseph Stalin, when he was killing the people he did and giving the orders he did, he knew what he was doing. Again, here is a guy that we have heard a number of times. I mean, and I get really nervous when I listen to him talk about the jihadis because I just think of that civil war,
Killing jihadists wherever they exist. We should get as good as we can get at that. We should get as good as we can get at that.
Kill them all. I usually hang the evil tag on impulses like that because they're a little too much like, let's say, the passive aggressiveness that I might treat my wife with if I'm annoyed by her, just blown up to an incredible degree.
Imagine what it would be like if we had Joseph Stalin at his worst in custody, and we had a much more mature science of the mind available to us, and we actually had a cure for evil. I mean, just imagine what it would be like to deliver this.
Okay. Defenders of Sam Harris. Here it is. Oh, a cure for evil.
Just modify all of the receptor sites and densities and connections in the brain so as to turn this malevolent sociopath into an entirely normal person with a normal pro-social attitudes, et cetera, but keeping intact his biographical memory and the other aspects of his identity, right? So imagine being able to engineer the following experience for Joseph Stalin, where you deliver him the cure for all that ails him ethically.
Maybe it's just me. I hear this and I think, do you have no understanding of human formation? It's a mystery. We don't know. But now Sam is thinking, the real thing he's saying is, it's between his ears. That's what he's saying. It's between his ears. Is it really? If I sat down with a marriage counselor and let's say me and my wife were sitting there in marriage counseling and usually you kind of go over, what happened this week? Well, Paul came home after work the other day and he sure seemed cold to me. And okay, well, let's get into that. And, well, Paul, why were you cold to her? Well, it's because she said this and this to me. And okay, well, was being cold to her really probably the best strategy? No. Well, what might have been a better strategy? Well, maybe if, when she had said this or done this, that maybe you should have, after you had sort of, calmed down a little bit and were a little less triggered, you could sit down with her and you could say, when you said to me, I sort of, Now, here with Joseph Stalin, at the height of his power, we're going to bring him in for brain surgery and make him less evil. Are you serious? This is the answer. This is the worldview. It's just silly.
But he still has a memory. He has the knowledge of what you're doing. You've told him what you're doing, and he has the memory of all the stuff, all the malevolent stuff he did in his past.
Do you have no understanding of human beings? Have you never met anyone? Peterson isn't jumping all over him, but those of us who have listened to way more Peterson than Sam Harris have know, number one, the tyranny is not just within Joseph Stalin. It's within the entire system. And it's within all of the people. We know this. It's not just in Joseph Stalin. It's in everyone. And so that's why Peterson keeps defaulting to this idea of a spirit, because that's in the imaginary, that's sort of what spirits can do. It's kind of in the entire system. So it is in Stalin, but is it between his ears? No, not really. And again, I listen to him say these things, and it's like,
because again, you're no longer evil. But to imagine the gratitude of feeling of just,
you're no longer evil. Maybe supplements, enzymes or proteins I can take in my brain that will no longer be evil. I mean, this just is incoherent. And Peterson is just sitting there. See, I think this is the much more dangerous Peterson than the one who's going back and forth. Peterson is he's just watching and listening and learning and evaluating. And he's thinking, whether or not Sam Harris will ever understand the critique, I will know this critique so well, I am going to cut it down. Whatever spirit is inhabiting this crazy talk that is making it come out of Sam Harris's mouth, I am going to slay that spirit. With everything that he said, listening to this, it's just, wow. It's showing a lot of self-control.
it's like evil people, because of the brains they have, because of the lives they've had, if we could change that, they would be standing with us in a position of astonishment that they could have ever been those sorts of people.
If we can open up their brains and rewire them so they can be like us. You want to push a new atheist button, and a bunch of your buttons just say supernatural, and bang, it just